Hello, everyone. This week, one of the things that you're going to be talking about is the role of facilitative talk in supporting change over time in processing systems, which is chapter 19 in our text. This facilitative talk is the prompting that the teacher uses to assist the student to successfully read any text, not just the text in front of them, but any text. For example, if you want an early reader to read without pointing under each word, you would prompt, "Read it with your eyes." But before you can use that prompt, you have to teach the prompt, which means that you're going to demonstrate reading a page with your eyes. And you have to insist that the child not point. So you've taught the prompt, you use the prompt, and then if you want to reinforce it, you're going to say, "Read it with your eyes." This language needs to be very specific, and it is kept to a minimum. The less teacher talk, the better. When you are prompting a child, it is very specific. These prompts, as I've said before, will allow any child to work their way through a text. You're also going to be looking at chapter 15 this week, which is Teaching for Systems of Strategic Actions in Guided Reading. And you're going to be looking at chapter 16, Teaching for Monitoring, Searching, and Self-Correction Behaviors. Students don't know this on their own, so it's our role to teach them these things. And we want them to be successful on any text, not just the text in front of them. So you can't prompt, for example, "You know that color word." That will help the child read that particular text, but when they encounter that word in another text, they're not going to know it and they're not going to know what to do. Years ago, reading groups at school were ability grouped. You had your redbirds, your bluebirds, and your blackbirds. Everyone wanted to be a redbird because those were the smart kids. Reading groups have certainly changed since then. We've seen in our videos that in guided reading, the teacher is tapping in front of each child individually to let them start reading the entire text. It's not round robin reading where everyone reads a paragraph. We want the child to read the entire text so they understand it. Well, this week, you're going to learn some additional research behind the important instructional strategies behind reading and how to implement them in your classroom. As we've been working through this course, hopefully you have been developing your vision for what your own classroom would look like. What elements are you going to implement in your classroom? These are things that you're going to discuss in your literacy beliefs presentation, which is due week 8. That is different than the presentation that is due in 3041. So if you're taking both classes, You have two different presentations to video. If you have questions about that, please ask me. Okay, this week you're going to look at the example of guided reading in the introduction and make a list of the verbal prompts that are found in chapter 19 that you heard the teacher say to a student while the student was reading. Now, which type of prompt was that the teacher used? Was it for searching for and using information? Was it monitoring and self-correcting? Was it for solving words? Was it for maintaining fluency? So you'll need to list what type of prompt it was. You're going to list the prompt verbatim, then the type, and finally how the prompt helped or didn't help the student with the text. Be sure to cite 2 additional sources in addition to our text and respond substantially to 2 other students. This is also the place to ask questions and clarify information about guided reading. What are you still wondering about? What needs clarification? Please don't hesitate to ask me. That's my job. Thank you, and I look forward to reading your discussions.